everybody, it's Ian the Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I'm going to be using the brand new stamp and die set from Kathy Zilski. She released a brand new one this year, and honestly I think it's my favorite stamp set and die set from her yet. She does amazing work, but let's face it, Halloween's my favorite time of the year, and I think it's hers too. So anyways, let's go ahead and see how I put this brand new stamp and die set together. These are some of the products that I'm going to be using today. I probably will add more as I kind of dive into this project. I have an idea for my project, but I'm not exactly sure how I want to execute it yet, so we'll see. We'll see how this works out. What I'm going to be using today is the Simon Says Stamp and Kathy Zilski Halloween People stamp set. I just bought this one. I'm so excited. I love Kathy Zilski and I love everything that she does, and this set is, I think, my favorite from her so far. It's just so much fun. I'm also going to try and use the Lawn Fawn reveal wheel, and again, another Kathy Zilski designs. It's going to be the, what is this one? Let's Get Batty? I think, no, Just Batty. That's what it is, Just Batty. So I'm going to use all of these. I also have the coordinating dies for the Halloween People stamp set. So this is kind of what I'm working with and getting started with. So the first thing that I need to do is stamp out some of my stamps, and then we'll do some of the reveal wheel, and I'm not exactly sure which order I'm going to put this in, but we'll get started and get going. These are brand new stamps, so I am going to kind of condition them by running my wrist over them. Sometimes it really helps to remove some of the process oils and whatever they do to stamps. It kind of can leave a residue, so I always try to make sure to condition my stamps by just, you know, rubbing my body oils and whatever else I have on my arm. It seems to really help a lot. That sounds a little gross, but it works. I have my anti-static powder tool. I'm just rubbing some of the anti-static powder tool all over my black cardstock, and I'm going to be using some Ranger embossing powder in white, and I'm going to use some of my Versamark ink to go ahead and ink up these stamps. I'm also using my Tim Holtz stamp platform to get a good impression. Okay, there we go. I have a good impression, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up my stamps and set them off to the side. So I have a piece of paper. This is just some 60-pound Recollections paper. I cut it a little larger than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I am going to cut this down to an A2 sized card base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Wilted Violet Distress oxides. I almost said ink. Oxide, and I'm going to use that stencil that I grabbed earlier, the Just Batty stencil, and I'm going to go ahead and do some ink blending on this and get it all colored up. Alright, I went ahead and laid down my stencil and placed a little tape on it. The tape doesn't help all that much because I am using my Ken Oliver mat. It does come up pretty quickly, but I figure this will really help as I'm getting started and just trying to keep it in place while I'm doing this ink blending. I always love that moment of reveal. This looks great. This is exactly what I was going for. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this cleaned up, and we'll move on to our next step. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and cut out my die cuts. I splurged and got the Gemini Junior since my Cricut Cuttlebug is now pretty much obsolete. It's not obsolete, but I don't have any more cutting plates for it, and Cricut has discontinued it. So I went ahead and splurged and jumped on the Gemini Junior. So that way I don't have to crank anymore as well. That was another advantage. Jennifer McGuire highly recommends this product, and so I thought I would give it a try. So this is the first time I'm doing it. I am doing it the correct way, not the Jennifer McGuire way, but the instructions say to do it like this. The good thing is these plates, all of these plates are replaceable. So if I need to, I can replace these plates. So cross your fingers for me and hope that this works. Okay, my very first cut came out just fine. I used my waffle flower A2 size square rectangle dies, whatever you want to call them, and it looks like it did just fine. So that's going to be my first piece. I'm going to go ahead and die cut my other piece and get it ready to go. I'm also using my rectangle dies from Waffle Flower to cut out the Halloween people are my people. You might be like, what, Ian, there's like so much room on top. Well, yeah, that's because I'm gonna just manually cut that top part off so that way it matches up. Hopefully this is all in place and in a good spot. I'm like double checking myself. I think it'll be okay. If it's a little off, it won't matter too much, but I'll go ahead and put this through the Gemini Junior and we'll move on to our next step. Okay, for the reveal wheel, what I've done, I've cut one panel that is just a regular panel. It has the cutout for the notch, but it doesn't have the window in it. I've cut the same panel again, made sure that the puzzle piece was in there so that way we cut the notch. Then I have this piece, which is our, it kind of like stabilizes everything, and this is what you put the brad through. So a reveal wheel will pop on, just like this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, this is the window, so I want to stick this down where I can, this is so hard to describe, but basically I'm gonna go ahead and open up this brad so that way it doesn't let go of the reveal wheel while I'm trying to work with it. I've zoomed in the camera, it's still gonna be really hard to see this. There are some indentions, you can kind of see them there. There's like little score lines right where we want that just outside of the window that we have here, and then I'm gonna move it over and I want it just inside the lines right there. So right about there, give or take. I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the paper. It's really hard for me to explain how all this works. Lawn Fawn, of course, does a much better job of explaining it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I've undone the backing paper on my little stabilizer part, and I'm just gonna try and line this up as best as possible and stick it down. We'll see how well. I always get it a little off. It doesn't matter all that much, to be honest, but we try our best, right? We try our best to make sure that it is as lined up as possible. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and take my reveal wheel off, and before I do that, I should have marked out where my little sentiments are gonna go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just gently drawing in some pencil lines to show me where the wheel is, or where the window on the wheel is going to be. That way I can stamp hopefully in the right spot and get it as close to perfect as possible. Again, I'm very lightly drawing it. It's not even all that exact. It's just a rough estimate of where each window is going to reveal itself. Now, of course, Lawn Fawn does sell the little windows that make it a lot easier to stamp inside, but if that costs money, and if I can just trace this little window out using a pencil, it works just the same. You don't have to buy everything because that can add up to a lot of money. I realized I was off camera for that. Sorry guys, this is what it looks like after I've traced everything out. So now I can take my reveal wheel off and I'm gonna go ahead and do some stamping. All right, I have my first stamp, which is "and kooky." So what I'm gonna do is I've picked it up on an acrylic block. I'm gonna ink it up with some Versa Fine ink. I'm gonna stamp it right in the center, as close to it as possible. There we go, kooky, and kooky I should say. I think you might be seeing where I'm going with this. I'm not 100% sure, so let's keep stamping. All right, I've gotten all that done, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take my pencil and erase all those pencil lines. All right, I've gone ahead and erased all the pencil lines. I didn't wait long enough. I should have heat embossed it or done something so that way it didn't, it kind of smeared my images. But guess what? That works out to our advantage because we're making a Halloween card. So instead of just being boring old text, it kind of looks spooky or ghostly or whatever. So we're gonna run with it. Happy accident, guys. Always look for those happy accidents. All right, so we've done that. Let's go ahead and try and assemble the card all the way together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my reveal wheel back onto its brad. Okay, I have my front panel, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put my Halloween people are my people up here at the top. I'm gonna put spooky down here towards the bottom. Now I'm not gonna pop these up because our card already has a lot of dimension already, right? So we don't wanna add too much more dimension to it, otherwise it would be kind of hard for it to go through the mail. So what I'm gonna do is I'll put my Halloween people are my people right there. Then I'm gonna take my spooky and go ahead and glue it down below. Okay, I've seen Kathy Zilski and a few other crafters do this. They'll line their bottom part up in their like either scoreboard or one of their stamping tools, and then take the top part and it should line up, whoops, if it's not sticking to my fingers, it should line up perfectly. I think that's pretty close. It's closer than what I could have gotten just by eyeballing it. And so now we got spooky and kooky, we got spooky salutations, we got spooky vibes, and we got spooky booyah. I have a base here of Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock. I'm gonna go ahead and take my tape runner and just run it along the edges here. This is a A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And next I'm gonna take my tape runner and gently, because there's not a lot of, there's a lot of give to this, I'm just gonna try and be really gentle and put some tape runner on this. So there we go, guys. It is an interactive spooky and kooky card. I love how it came out, and I think it's gonna be great for Halloween. I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not quite feeling the Halloween vibe yet. I'm getting there, but I am working a little ahead. As you know, as crafters, we always have to work a little ahead so that way we can get our cards and projects out in the mail or out to wherever they need to go. So I'm not quite feeling it just yet, but I know it's gonna come soon and I can't wait for it to be here. Halloween is my favorite holiday after all, and it should be lots of fun. I think that's gonna do it for today's video. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you liked my video. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video, or go live by clicking that bell notification icon and clicking all notifications. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember guys, normal's just setting on the dryer. Bye!